Water displacement. Get in the pool!
Harrison Ford back in theaters this week as Indiana Jones. One final crusade, a classic Indy scenario as he tries to solve a puzzle with his goddaughter this time. But I'm not going to give away too much because we have a bonus Wednesday appearance from Eli to give us his review. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Channeling the Professor Jones look here. You've left the bullwhip at home, I assume. Here's what I want to know.
Yes.
Are there hats?
Yes.
Are there snakes? Is there da-da-da-da, da-da-da?
Cannot have Indy. I mean, that beautiful theme
John
is
Williams,
almost as magical as the ensemble. How does the fedora stay on? That's what I like. Are there magnets? It's just, it's ridiculous.
You can't even keep an earpiece in,
I can't even keep my earpiece. And he's like swinging, he's climbing, he's falling, and the bullwhip. So it is all there and more. The music sounds wonderful. They played it live at the LA premiere, and it was just glorious to hear. But here's who's not there.
Okay.
Steven Spielberg.
No?
No, nope. New director, James Mangold, George Lucas, who wrote the originals. Nope. So different writers, different directors, new director, same guy who gave us Logan and Ford versus Ferrari. So, of course, we still have, there he is, Harrison Ford. We begin in 1969. Dr. Jones teaching archaeology, but the world is changing. There are hippies in the streets. Man is on the moon. Gone are the days you remember the students blinking and you saw I love you on
yes.
They're not doing that anymore. They can barely stay awake. So can Professor Jones. So things have changed. But then, as you mentioned, into his life comes his goddaughter, Helena, played by the amazing Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Let's take a look.
I'm retiring.
Well, in that case, what are we drinking?
Same for the goddaughter.
Dad told me you found something on a train during the war. A dial that could change the course of history.
Why are you chasing the thing that drove your father crazy?
Because it's a very special thing. Now, what is, of course, the same? Harrison is still Harrison. The lines on his face are a little deeper. The hair is more Steve Martin now than Han Solo, but he is still the same glorious grump. Now, if you prefer the younger, you may have noticed it opens with a stunning flashback scene set in 1944. The Germans are pillaging Europe's greatest treasures, but with the magic of de-aging technology, we get young, handsome Harrison battling Nazis, sneaking onto a train full of crowds, trying to get his hands on Archimedes' Antikythera, an almost mythical timepiece with some wondrous properties. This is why we're treated to Mads Mikkelsen as Jürgen Voller, the Nazis' Nazi, who is trying to get this treasure for the Führer, and Ford and Toby Jones are trying to stop it. Now, since Lucasfilm has 40 years of Harrison Ford sitting on their hard drive, the digital facelift is pretty good. Not that perfect, 98% there. Doesn't really matter because he's so busy getting in and out of trouble that you're not really looking at the perfection of the face. You're looking at him fighting Nazis on top of trains and all that good stuff. Now, flash forward to 1969. Here's Helena, still hot on the trail of the magical doohickey. It was her father's obsession. Now it's hers, but so is Voller, the Nazi, became an American scientist, helping the Yankees make rockets, and now he is back. So as New York celebrates the moon landing, he shares his true intentions. Take a look.
Hitler made mistakes, and with this, I will correct them all. You stole it. Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
So there you go. Soon there's a great chase through the streets of New York during the ticker tape parade. There's a subway, there's a horse, there are German goons aplenty. What more could you possibly ask for? Maybe I'll treat you to just a little more of that famous bullwhip.
Oh.
Get back.
Do not bring a whip to a gunfight, but he still got it.
He still does. Well, that's the question. He's 80, right? Does he still have it?
I think, if anything, Heather, his age just increases his powers. Like, regardless of what era of Harrison Ford you're talking about, when is he at his best? when he's exasperated, when he's growling, when he is that glorious grump. And so this just gives him more to groan about. There's an evolution, though, to this Indiana. He is playing his age, both physically and emotionally. So you feel a little more of the weight of the years and a few regrets. But Ford is only as good as his foil. You look at the great Indiana Jones movies, whether it's Marion, whether it's Sean Connery as his father, calling him Junior, and now Phoebe Waller-Bridge as this younger archaeologist who is just as good, just as fast, and willing to, call him on some of the questionable practices that his colleagues have been doing throughout the years.
So I'm thinking about all the great scenes. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen an Indiana Jones, running away from the humongous boulder coming at him. I mean, is the action level the same with him? You're right. I think he looks fantastic, and I think he's still an excellent and handsome and all of that stuff. But, is it still the same kind of action?
I think my favorite moment,
yes.
There is a chase scene in Tangiers. You've got Indiana Jones, you've got his goddaughter Helena, you're there on tuk-tuks in Tangiers. They're storming down alleyways. They're chasing after the Nazi. There's a Moroccan, boyfriend who's also hot on their trail. And I don't know if, Ford is just happiest when he's playing a crash test dummy, but that's exactly kind of what you want. So, Ford, Indiana Jones, whether it's on horseback or on tuk-tuk chasing Nazis, that is, I think what we want from this movie. If you're looking for your Indiana Jones fix, this is going to work for you. And they're trying to do the impossible here. In a way, it's a throwback, but it's also trying to be a little more political astute for the times that we're in. But in the end, I think this gives us the Jones that we wanted for, I hope, one last time. I think he's done a lot. Let's just let him hang up the hat for good. 3.5 stars out of 5. There's your boulder.
There's the boulder. 3.5. I'm going to say we pump it up just for nostalgia up to 4. Come on, Eli.
Yeah.
I would argue that.
It's not as excellent as some as the best. As the first one, as The Last Crusade, I would say it's a close approximation. If it's an archaeologist, you'd say it's a good imitation. This is a great imitation, but not as good as the original.
Can we see that 3.5 again? They worked so hard to put those together. I don't know if we can do that instantly like that. Here it is.
There it is. Watch out. The whip taking away the half is very impressive. Very nice.
Very much so. Thanks, Eli.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
to our graphics team.